Thank you to Wendy Van Della Castro, Dr. Joel, and the Foundation for Lincoln Public Schools for the opportunity to join in recognizing and celebrating the LPS students and staff who have gone the extra mile to inspire their school communities through their actions. My name is Jasmine Kingsley, and I'm the Chief People and Legal Officer at Huddle, a sports technology company proudly headquartered here in Lincoln. In my role, I have the privilege of working with many talented teams, including teams of lawyers and other legal professionals, to help ensure that we are following the law and can achieve our business objectives, as well as with human resources and communications leaders to help create an awesome experience for our employees and build great relationships with our communities. It's a demanding and exciting job, and I get a lot of fulfillment from my work. But my hardest and most rewarding job is being a parent. My husband, Christopher, and I have a 5-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter. When I first became a mom 5 years ago, I went into it expecting that I would have to teach my children many lessons in order to equip them to meet the challenges and opportunities of life ahead. That said, one of the most humbling aspects of becoming a parent has been coming to the realization that I have just as much to learn from them as I could ever hope to teach. I'm guessing that many of our LPS educators might say the same about their students, and I want to share a few lessons that I've learned from my kids today. So before becoming a mom, I had a little bit more free time, and one of my favorite ways to spend it was teaching yoga classes. This opened my eyes to something that my children have reinforced for me. We rely on those with more experience and wisdom to help show us a path, provide foundational knowledge, protect and keep us safe, or in the hardest moments, help us push past that web of sticky thoughts in our brain that can sometimes cause feelings of self-doubt or shame or fear of failure or judgment. But ultimately, we each have to do the work ourselves. Even when we occupy the position of teacher or parent or leader, we have something to learn from everyone, perhaps most especially those we serve. Together, we can find ourselves on a wonderful journey to unlock the magic that we each already possess inside. It's always growing, and it's never too late to get comfortable with the uncomfortable work of letting our little light shine. Those who inspire us hold a mirror to that light and remind us of what we are all capable of. This is why it's so important to reflect on your accomplishments, great and small, to recognize the impact that you are making on your communities, and to celebrate the acts of inspiration that instill hope for the future. The challenges of tomorrow are many and great. It's easy to let ourselves become overwhelmed by the work ahead, but showing up as your best you each day, you inspire and remind us that a little good can go a long way, and a little light can snuff out a lot of darkness. Watching my young children look with wonder at the world in ways that I'd long since started to take for granted, their ability to find the magic in really simple moments, to conjure a rocket ship out of a used Amazon box, and the way they reject my help, even when I know they need it, in favor of asserting their independence with a boldly proclaimed, "I can do it myself." Their confidence in celebrating these accomplishments humbles me constantly. While there's still so much that they are ignorant of, they manage to teach me a new lesson every day. The student becoming the teacher, becoming the student is a beautiful cycle that we can see reflected across many aspects of life. One important lesson that being a parent has reinforced for me is to find another angle by looking at the familiar with fresh eyes. Not only is this a critical problem-solving skill, it's a critical parenting survival skill. My kids tend to get on these kicks where they want to spend their screen time or their story time enjoying the same content over and over and over again. So take, for example, Disney's Encanto. It took our household by storm over the holidays, and not talking about Bruno was pretty much all we talked about for probably too long. Even after losing count of how many times we'd seen the movie, I still managed to notice new things or draw new insights from the story. I think this is what Disney magic is all about, the way we can watch, listen to, or read something over and over again and still find a new lesson. Training our brains to look at common problems through a new lens and to consider different perspectives is a way to breathe magic into everyday life. It's why your unique point of view matters. We may be looking at the same problems, but your perspective may be just the thing needed to uncover a whole new solution. Some of the lessons, though, are harder than others. Recently, I was reflecting on how often as a parent, I have to use that 2-letter word that in most cases, nobody likes to hear. That's right, no. No, you can't do that. No, you can't have that right now. And no matter how big or small the request, the reaction always seems to range from very upset to entirely hysterical. Of course, it's never fun to be denied our desires, but thinking about beyond the immediacy and the harsh reality that we can't always get exactly what we want when we want it, it made me examine further why it can be so hard to hear no. This actually resurfaced a childhood memory that I had buried. So when I was a young girl, I was so afraid of being told no that it caused me a lot of anxiety to have to ask for anything. And I don't mean no in terms of factual statements like, are you a Lego? No, but rather in terms of requests for permission. Whenever I wanted permission to do something from my mom, I would write out the request on a little intricately origami folded note. I would slip it to her and then I would run away so that I didn't have to bear witness to her evaluating my proposal. I'd always include these little check boxes, check for yes, check for no, and I would request that she fill it out and then hand it back to me. That way I wouldn't have to face the pain of having my wishes scrutinized in real time. These were usually small, silly, mostly selfish things like, can I go play at a friend's house, for example? Not big things like, can I change the world? While this was probably a pretty strange behavior, I think it does also reveal some universal truth. It's a vulnerable position to await a response from somebody with the power and authority to grant or deny your wishes. When we hear no, it can feel like a harsh judgment of our dreams. The reality is that we're going to hear a lot of no's in life. Sometimes it will be permission-based. No, you can't have or do that. But as our requests evolve from a pursuit of personal pleasure or gain to rallying support to take actions that likely impact others, no will more likely come as a result of lack of shared common vision for what's possible. We may eventually mature in how we react to hearing no, but the sting of denial remains just the same. It's interesting to explore how our sense of what is possible can change over time. Thinking about toddlers and young children boldly asserting a vision for how they imagine the world should be, and fully confident in their ability to materialize it, to this point where we come to understand that there are gatekeepers who seem to have the power to deny access to that reality. When I was young, I think this shaped my perception of what it meant to be a grown-up. Finally having the autonomy and the authority to bring my dreams to life, to make yeses out of nos, even silly dreams like ice cream for breakfast. There was so much focus around certain milestones, getting to the next grade or graduating to the next phase in whatever I was doing, in hopes that this would properly credential me for the future. There was a sense of being not quite ready and waiting for some big event, waiting for permission to clear the next gate. But this brings me to the last lesson that my children have illuminated for me. And it's something I imagine I once knew, but lost touch with over time, because I can see this attitude radiated by the inspiring individuals that we celebrate today. The big event is right here, right now. We are never too young or too old to see the world with fresh eyes and to imagine a reality that differs from the one we experience every day. As humans, we've been blessed with the incredible power of creative imagination. We can conjure ideas, invent stories and images based in fact and fantasy. We can empathize with the experiences of others and imagine a future that looks different from the present. We're possessed of the gift not only to imagine the unsensed or the unreal, but to turn those dreams into reality. While we have to accept the need for permission in many cases, there are so many things that warrant an easy yes. We just have to change what we're asking for. I think about many of the common goals we share: to live well, to make the world kinder, cleaner, safer, healthier, more equitable, more beautiful, more loving. These dreams may seem big and audacious. It's hard to imagine bringing about such a reality on our own, but that's part of the power of community. Many small steps taken together can add up to make a huge impact. In my view, the most inspiring among us are not necessarily the most famous or accomplished or lauded. They're the people who find the yes opportunity in every single day. People who remind us that though we may just be one individual with the power to make only a small difference, by inspiring others to make small changes, together we can make all the difference. So as my dad used to remind me, by the mile, it's a trial. By the yard, it's hard. But inch by inch, anything's a cinch. You don't have to wait for some special credential or some great tomorrow to change the world. You already are right here, right now. So keep going. Congratulations to this year's Inspire Award winners, and thank you to the kids of all ages with the courage to find the yes moment in every day.